We have three classes of lipids: triglyceride, phospholipid, and sterols. Of the fats that we eat in foods, 95% are triglyceride. Let's take a look at some important chemical characteristics of fat. Like carbohydrate, lipids are made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The carbon to hydrogen bonds are nonpolar covalent, which means that lipids are fat soluble and will not dissolve in water. Depending on the type of fat, the structure may be different, but it will always have the same elements of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. This is an important concept to know. The two main energy nutrients, carbohydrate and fat, are made up of the same elements. We will continue talking about that as we get into the next chapter as well. But for now, let's take a look at the way we classify lipids and the different characteristics of each. Since the triglycerides make up such a large part of the diet, they deserve more details in a separate video. Look for additional videos to explain the structure of triglycerides and how we differentiate the fatty acids that make up triglycerides. The second class of lipids is the phospholipids. The structure is much like triglycerides. It also has a glycerol backbone and fatty acids attached. However, in a phospholipid, there are only two fatty acids. The third compound is a phosphorus-containing group. The unique feature of phospholipids is that it has fat-soluble properties with the fatty acid chains and water-soluble properties of the phosphate group. Normally, oil and water do not mix, but in the presence of a phospholipid, it is able to hold oil and water in a permanent blend. We refer to this function as emulsification. A good example of this is mayonnaise, which is made of oil, a water-based vinegar, some seasonings, and an egg. In the egg, there is a phospholipid known as lecithin that emulsifies the mayo to hold the components of fat and water together in a creamy, delicious blend. The other place we see phospholipids is in our cells. The water and fat-soluble properties allow cells to maintain their shape. Without the phospholipids, the cells would just dissolve into our watery bloodstream. The final category of lipids is sterols. The structure of sterols are large and complicated. They have various functions in the body. The two most well-known sterols are the precursor to vitamin D and cholesterol. Cholesterol is a very misunderstood fat. In research, we have gone back and forth between whether or not it is good or bad. Let's start by looking at where we get cholesterol. This graph shows sources of cholesterol. Note the one piece that is similar about all of the food sources is that they are animal origin. That's because the liver of all animals make cholesterol. That means not only do we eat cholesterol, but we also make cholesterol in our bodies. What we know about the cholesterol we eat in food is that it seems to have minimal effect on how much cholesterol is in the blood. The liver is more likely to make cholesterol when saturated fat is consumed in our diet. So the research shows that when we eat cholesterol foods like shrimp and eggs, it does not increase risk of heart disease as much as some of the other types of fats in our diet. The part that usually blows students' minds is that there is no good or bad type of cholesterol in our foods. Cholesterol is the same no matter if it is in eggs, dairy, or lobster. The difference with cholesterol has to do with what happens to it in your body. We will save that topic for another video. There is one more type of sterol to mention. Remember, cholesterol is found in animal sources. In the body, high cholesterol levels contribute to the plaque that lines the arteries. But this other type of sterol comes from plant sources. It is known as plant stanol or plant sterol. It has a similar structure as cholesterol, but instead of contributing to plaque in the bloodstream, it actually lowers the amount of cholesterol in the body. It is found naturally in foods, but several years ago, manufacturers started adding it to foods like margarine to help people lower their cholesterol, kind of like medicine does.